got a whole chapter in the book on the patients and why they do it and why they're desperate, and somebody thinks they only have 6 months to live, and they say to themselves, well, I'm going to go and get a liver in China. And all these operations are often terribly badly done. The doctors in China won't give any charts now to come back with the patient because they don't want their names to be on it. So a lot of patients, I gather, have the operations badly done. One man I heard about recently was being practically taken into the operating room after paying, I forget how much it was. It was a lot of money he paid for his organ, and somebody said to him, we need another $10,000. So the man, I think, produced the $10,000, and but it's pretty hideous stuff. It's clandestine. There's sort of back corridors in these hospitals. It's just, from what we've heard from people who've gone through it, it's a very sordid process. And you come away with no information to take back to your doctor for aftercare where you came from. And it's just like the mafia of medicine, if you like. And it's an awfully depressing, sordid business. But if people are desperate, they will convince themselves of almost anything, especially when the doctor says to them, well, the organ you have, Mr. Smith, is from a convicted murderer. And so then the person must wonder, well, has this person got AIDS? Have they got some terrible disease? And this, I mean, but people are desperate, and we understand that. But and we would do anything to try to encourage people to give more voluntary organs in Canada or Sweden or anywhere. And interestingly enough, one of the countries that's taking the toughest stand on this is Spain. And yet Spain is also the country, as I'm sure you know, that has the highest rate of organ donors, voluntary donors. So, and Israel has discovered with their law that by saying that anybody who signs a form volunteering to donate their organs will have priority when it comes to organ transplants. So they've found that their legislation has apparently increased the number of people signing their donor cards. So there are lots of things that can be done, but one of the things that should not be done is people should not be going to China as organ tourists. The idea is, of course, to throw the brokers in jail, and those are the people to go after. And I think Israel did that, by the way. They put one of the brokers in jail. And once the brokers are out of business, then people don't even know how, even if they want to go, don't know how to access the means of going to China. So the people who really go after the brokers, and these people are unscrupulous people that should be put in jail, in my view. Dr. Jay Lavie, he's got a chapter in this book, and I have so much respect for Dr. Lavie. He didn't believe it was happening until one day one of his patients said, I'm going to get a heart operation, I think it was. I'm going to China next 2 weeks from now to get a heart operation. And Lavie says, you what? They've timed the operation for 2 weeks from now? And you may not realize then that it takes, with the tissue types and blood type differences, you've got to have a large number of people who are same blood type and tissue type. So he immediately knew that somebody was going to be killed like a chicken in a poultry plant so that he could get a new heart. So that the penny dropped for him on that, and he started the campaign to change the laws in Israel, and he and the members of parliament in Israel did this. And now it's an offense to use a trafficked organ, and nobody has gone from Israel to China since this legislation was passed. So if it works for Israel, why wouldn't it work for Canada or Sweden or any other country where we believe in human dignity and the rule of law? We're not saying you have to name China in this, just have a law that says you cannot buy an organ. And you could build in an onus section that says that if you come back with an organ, you have to show that you made a reasonable effort to find out it was donated and so on. In fact, there's a big uproar going on right now in Sri Lanka. You may have read about this, where Sri Lanka and Colombo is trying to set themselves up as an organ center. And there's a considerable worry that the Rajapaksa government in Sri Lanka may start to use the same methods as China. Certainly the Rajapaksa government in Sri Lanka is far too close, in my view, to the government of China, and they may see this as a chance to make money as well through similar methods. Up to now, Sri Lanka has only been using organs, or one kidney, for example, bought, I gather, in some cases in India. But there's a danger that we get onto a slippery slope, and then other countries which don't have the rule of law or don't have respect for human beings could end up doing the same thing. That's why it's got to be stopped with China, and we've got to draw the line in the sand with China on this issue.